Hi, this is Catherine Dubberly, the Answer Lady. Today's project is making garter stitch using the knitting machine. We will look at a completely hand-manipulated method of achieving it today.
Let's make some garter stitch down this edge. I've just knitted 2 rows. One of them we want to be stockinette, so it's facing the correct way now. That's this row. But the one above it that I just knitted, we want to change to purl stitches. So I'm going to insert my tool into one of those stitches on the row below, drop it, pull the tool down, and reform it as a purl stitch. And I'm going to do that all the way across. By inserting my tool first, I guarantee that the stitch won't run beyond the point that I want it to. Pull down, latch up, no big deal. Make sure you get it hung back neatly. That one wanted to split. Insert the tool, drop the stitch, let it run, relatch it facing the other way. Once more, insert the tool, drop the stitch, let it run, relatch and rehang it. Now, on the final stitch, you have a choice at the very edge. We can do what we've been doing, and I will go ahead and show you, but it's a little bit tricky because there's not an easy place to put your tool in because it's an edge stitch. I can undo it, I can find it, and I can latch it up. However, what I've been doing for the rest of this is perfectly okay to do. Just don't do that edge stitch. Leave it alone. And it still won't roll. Let's knit 2 more rows and do it again. Okay, I'm back. We're going to do these 4 stitches. Drop that one. Whoops, forgot to put my tool in first, but I caught it in time. Relatch it. And rehang it. Insert the tool. Drop the stitch, let it run, relatch it, rehang it. Insert tool, drop stitch, let it run, relatch it, and rehang it. And we do it one more time. I'm going to keep doing this so that you get to see it some more while I talk a little bit about the process and why we're doing it, and you just get to watch. First, let's knit 2 additional rows. The thing is, the edges of stockinette knitting roll. You can see it starting on this side, but not so much on this side. That's because the stitches pull in one direction. That's the nature of the stitch structure. So a lot of times we do something that turns one stitch one direction and the next stitch another direction, so they cancel each other out and they don't roll. Garter stitch does that because half the stitches face each direction, front and back of the fabric. So does rib stitch, but they're alternating left and right across the fabric rather than up and down the length of it. However, the same thing is achieved. Hand knitters use garter stitch a great deal because it's so easy for them. Since they're turning the work, they would have to purl to keep stockinette forming and not get garter stitch. I'm recycling some yarn here, forgive the knot, but for demo purposes I hate to use my best stuff. Because hand knitters turn the work every row, they have to work at not getting garter stitch. Now, machine knitters don't turn the work. It always stays facing the same way on the machine, so we have to work harder to get garter stitch. There is a way to do it that is not hand done, and that is to take off the knitting and flip it around. You can do this on a wire, a knitting needle, a piece of waste yarn, or best option, a garter bar. Garter bars are tricky to learn to use and expensive, but they're very effective. I'm just going to ignore that one with the knot in it so we can keep going. Have a look at this. This is what you get. Our ungarter stitched edge is rolling like crazy. our garter stitched edge is not. This is the stitch where I dropped and reformed the edge stitch. And you can see why I say that it looks just fine not to do that. In my opinion, the edge looks nicer on every row except that one. And it is not rolling. In case you happen to notice my extremely lovely latch tool, it also has another tool on the other end. I teach you how to make these in my book, Cool Tools for Machine Knitters, in case you want something equally fabulous.